If it excites your soul, go after it. Have you ever felt a spark so real that it made everything else in your life feel dull? That sudden jolt of energy when you think, I have to do this, even if no one else gets it? That's not just excitement. That's your soul talking. And guess what? Most people ignore it. But what if that feeling, that gut level pull towards something bigger isn't random? What if it's the compass you've been looking for all along? In a world that tells you to be realistic, calculated, and responsible, I want to offer you one truth. If it excites your soul, you owe it to yourself to go after it. The soul knows what the mind can't explain. We've been taught to prioritize logic over instinct. We weigh pros and cons, we make lists, we analyze every outcome. But here's the deal. Logic will keep you safe. Passion will make you feel alive. You ever notice how kids don't ask for permission to chase what lights them up? They just do it. They dance terribly, but they dance joyfully. They build pillow forts like they're designing skyscrapers. They don't need a 5-year plan. They just follow the feeling. Somewhere along the way, we stopped doing that. We replaced what excites me with what makes the most sense. But here's the catch. Life isn't just meant to make sense. It's meant to make you feel something. And the things that excite your soul, that's your internal GPS saying, hey, go this way. But let's get something out of the way. Not every soul stirring thing is logical. And that's okay. Chasing what excites you doesn't always look smart on paper. In fact, it usually looks ridiculous. Starting a YouTube channel with 0 followers, moving to a new city with no job lined up, writing a novel no one asked you to write, quitting your safe job to chase a dream you can't even fully explain. A lot of the times it sounds crazy until it works. And even if it doesn't work by society's standards, it works for your soul, because there's a huge difference between a life that's stable and a life that's truly fulfilling. Security is nice, but excitement, that's electric. The problem is that most of us use the lie of, we'll do it later. And the lie we continue to tell ourselves is, I'll go after it later, when the timing is right, when the money is there, when life slows down, when people support me, or when I feel more confident. But later is a myth. Later is how dreams die slowly while you're busy and you're being practical. Because perfect timing is just your fear wearing a watch. Ask anyone who took a leap, and they'll tell you they weren't ready, but they were scared. However, they were excited, and that's usually enough to start. Your soul doesn't speak in calendars and spreadsheets. It speaks in chills, it speaks in fire, and even in adrenaline. And when it speaks, listen. Like most humans, you're probably wondering what if you fail. But that's your fear talking. And here's the harsh truth. Fear is coming whether you chase your dream or not. Fear is part of the deal. The bigger the dream, the louder the doubt. What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I waste my time? But here's a better question. What if you never try and spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been? You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of finding out who you really are and not being able to unsee it. Because once you taste soul level passion, you can't go back to a lukewarm living. Failing doesn't mean you were wrong. It means you were brave. And honestly, failing while chasing what excites you is still more fulfilling than succeeding at something you hate. Here's the silent regret that no one ever talks about. You ever meet someone who's technically successful, but they look hollow? They've got the house, they got the job, they got the title, but there's no spark. That's what happens when you silence your soul for too long. Your soul no longer screams at you, it whispers. That fire you once had, it dims. All that passion is starting to be put out. And eventually you wake up one day surrounded by all the things you were supposed to want, but completely disconnected from who you are. That's not success, that's regret with good lighting. And it's way more common than people admit. Don't chase a life that looks good but feels empty. Chase the life that feels real, even if no one understands it but you. You have to understand, though, the difference between passion and pressure. There's a difference between being excited about something, and there's a difference between feeling like you have to do it to prove yourself. Let's be clear. If it excites your soul, pursue it. If it just feeds your ego, take a second and pause. True passion feels like peace and fire at the same time. It makes you forget time, not your worth. It energizes you. It doesn't exhaust you. You don't need to monetize every passion. You don't need to turn your hobby into a hustle. But you need to do what excites you. Write, sing, dance, build, paint, perform, invent, explore. Just because it feeds your spirit. That alone is reason enough. If you ever feel fearful about chasing something that excites your soul, understand this. Resistance is proof that you're on the right track. And let me drop a truth bomb. If it scares you, challenges you, or makes you feel deeply exposed, you're probably headed in the right direction. That resistance you feel, that's not a stop sign. That's a signpost. You're about to grow. Everything worth doing will come with resistance. Resistance comes in various forms. You're going to deal with resistance from within that tells you you're not good enough. You're going to deal with resistance from others who tell you should be more realistic. And then you'll deal with resistance from the world, who's going to tell you there's no room for you here. And yet, every breakthrough in your life will come from moving through that resistance, not away from you. If it excites you and scares you, that's the path. And honestly, energy doesn't lie. You ever notice how your body knows before your brain does? You walk into certain situations and feel drained. You talk to some people and you just feel heavy. But then you try something new and you light up. Energy doesn't lie. If something fills you with energy, even if you're tired, broke, or overwhelmed, that's not a coincidence. That's alignment. We spend so much time trying to be productive, we forget to be alive. Follow the things that make you feel awake. Follow the spark. Follow the goosebumps. They're the breadcrumbs that will lead you to the biggest meals in life, the ultimate prize. If I had to guess, one of the biggest reasons you haven't gone after what excites you is because you wonder about what people will think. Let me give you a reality check that you probably already know. People are going to judge you no matter what you do. You could play it safe, stay small, and follow every rule, and someone is still going to have something to say. So if you're going to be judged either way, you might as well be judged while doing something you love. Live for your joy, not their approval. Because once you're lit up, you inspire others to light up too. Your courage gives them permission to chase their own excitement. Be the example, not the echo. Now let's talk about freedom. Going after what excites your soul doesn't mean locking yourself into one thing forever. You're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to outgrow what once lit you up. You're allowed to change your mind. Passion isn't a prison. It's a playground. The goal isn't to find one thing and cling onto it until you die. It's to keep evolving, discovering, and staying connected to what makes you feel alive. So even if you've fallen out of love with something you once chased, good. That means you're growing. Listen to your soul's new whispers. They're not betraying you, they're guiding you forward. The world needs more lit up people. You know what the world is actually starving for? Not more influencers, not more productivity hacks, not more perfection. The world needs more people who are fully alive. People who are bold enough to say, this excites me and I'm going for it. Because once you follow your life, you spark others. You become a living permission slip for passion. And passion is contagious. Your excitement could be the match that lights someone else's purpose. But it only works if you strike it. So how do you start now? If you're unsure where to begin. Well, number one, pay attention to your energy. Notice what makes you come alive even if it feels small. Number two, start creating before you consume. Spend less time scrolling and more time doing. Number three, silence the outside noise. Your soul speaks quietly. You have to get quiet to hear it. Number four, experiment freely. You don't need to be perfect. You just have to begin. And number 5, make space for it. Schedule your excitement. Protect it like a meeting with your future self. I'll leave you with this up before I go. The soul is never wrong. You don't need more permission. You don't need a sign. If it excites your soul, it's already the sign. The things you're drawn to aren't random. They're your blueprint. They're the real you, the version that existed before the world told you who you should be. So take the risk, make the leap, chase that thing. Even if it fails, even if it scares you, even if no one understands it but you. Because in the end, the only thing worse than fear is regret. And the only real failure is ignoring the fire inside of you. So go after it, and if it excites your soul, it's yours to chase. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, stay blessed, stay humble, and keep going.